Gilg Jew, Gilg J as Gilg Nerach.
She Claare na Gael viscular scalien and ish spavaliam alter. My name is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert Carslach.
Have you ever had tell about Bobby Bob?
And it's my pleasure to present this bilingual programme, part of it in the English language as Pert Eliagi Sachilg, and another part of it in the Manx Gaelic, Chinyanamera, the mother tongue of Alan Fanning, the Isle of Man. As Banach and Durish, in David Robertson's account of the island, published in 1794, he's telling us about goods imported legally into the island, paying low dues to the Lord of Mann, but those goods then being exported to the surrounding shores without paying higher British dues. Trade, say people here. Smuggling, says the British government. Tanolo van Helsing corfesh early John Seward machon stu parachadjen, as Graham and wel tiglas sheen ser kush, de wel het gobble de wel a kushen on. Te cor sampler sampler rosh. So Gilen egget and fairly Seward Gray de wel chit de way for the chillia. We start with a song by the band who'll be opening an Crunias Celtic gathering with a concert at the Centenary Centre in Peel on Monday the 24th of July. They are Trip and the song is Turning Tides. Tashu Geishachrish Radio Vanning, Stashu the Nashun, Biscoller Scalia Mach by Dúlish, Alan Vanning.
The waves roll in, greeting me like the oldest friend. It's been a long old while, the city smoke it filled my head, but now it's clear, this is where I belong. Familiar breeze, it awakens me. I'm reminded of your beauty. The colours seem so much brighter now. A tapestry of life woven with such care. Take my hand and lead me home, across the sea and fields of purple, green and gold. Take my hand and bring me back to the beginning, to play under the bright blue skies with you. Grounds, they know the paths I tread, the contours of my footprint. Each step I take, I'm drawn back into nature's oldest call. Take my hand and bring under the bright blue skies with you. Blow me home now, the tides are turning, setting a new course.
And that's Glasgow-based band Trip, including, of course, Isla Collister, and they'll be here for Chroniach with a concert and some workshops too. Now, Isla, of course, took part in the Bunscoil Gilgach musical productions. Thursday the 13th and Friday the 14th of July, the Bunscoil Gilgach will be presenting their own original musical version of Lior and Dúfar, the Jungle Book, at the Centenary Centre in Peel. Tickets available online at the Centenary Centre website. Now, as early as 1726, in the reign of George I, the British government passed an Act of Parliament to buy up the feudal sovereignty of the island from the Lord of Mann for the Crown. And that wasn't, for one reason or another, executed. And Robertson says, this from various causes was not accomplished till the 5th year of the reign of His present Majesty, this is George III, and he specifies in a footnote that this occurred on March the 7th, 1765, famous date, when the royalty, with all its dignities and emoluments, the patronage of the bishopric accepted, was for ever vested in the Crown of Britain, the Duke of Atholl enjoying, in lieu of his regalities, a grant of £70,000 and a liberal annuity for the lives of himself and his Duchess. Va ein jou wachtelem der au ginsige dau lessoen enjach, morenne vader de hennes het chamber studeren zeggen ons Amsterdam. A getrei shen jenige inch douwen onred de berg smuljen er nie shen ons mensen ol you en trei. Ach nish, van mi gint na groene shen. Ach van mi giri tiggle, maar zo doort me, allo ligt dou ve de reis do derish, inch dou a thesis, de vodum gino image en this ed, gouds dou golair. Eg a trei ton, ta mi gol ons me inchen, vai bol gavol, san achter dan je kai, na wel sunt, gaiet ai. Ta mi genachten gurish nonach gol de stachelach trud currach vo gei, as jimmer vain derre doskus dos elje, ons dol, de gol rosh, guinness red ta mi de gol. Smire jollo shen, dorte, well, nie minch dutch. Schachten thesis ta mi giri, de wel uw kruil. A krij ons de kruil. De kruil ons ridden, ne vod uw kruil. Now Welsh trio PLETHYN take us up to the top of Tredegar Heath, ben waun Tredegar.
Ben waun Tredegar mae eirin achnau, ben waun Tredegar mae fale mis mai, ben waun Tredegar mae ffrwythau o bob ryw, ben waun Tredegar mae'n nghariad i'n byw. Mae'n nghariad i leni fel gwynt o flaen glaw, yn caru ffor yma a charu ffor draw, ni char cywir galon yn gariad ond yr un, y sawl ag ar lawer gai fod heb yr un. Ni charaf y glwfer na chobler na chrif, na sgogin o deiliwr na gaelin o wyf, na cyn o'r man greftwyr sydd bynnag y bo, ni charaf, ni cherau sy'n llencyn ond o. Chi berched ifanc hawfgar na cherwch dim ond un, Gochelwch gael eich denu gan lencyn tegelun. Mae cariad fel y moroedd yn llifo fyth i'r land. Mae'r ferch sy'n caru'n gywir yn canu glychau'r llan.
Ar ben waun Tredegar, on the top of Tredegar Heath, where there are nuts and all sorts of things growing, and it's where my love lives too, says Linda Griffiths, and she was singing there with her brother John and their cousin Jack, making up the trio PLETHYN. Lig thou sailge gemache. Giel mi kiaurt der Amerikaan Amerikaanach ren corbun marsor credu. A chiel shen vis coreblid dun de chrel ons ridden as de fissain aru more ridden jou firenach. Ma hon heen tammy tickle dun je shen. Ve menel de be eidne fajlit ein gin liege de meer de firenjes cor litrumus a raij e ritmu firenach, maar te klach weg gino truck red jaren. Tashin karsna ridbeg firenach hoyacht, smai shen. Tashin frele. As ta sin cor leeg ach son sjen zulju genaiden dun liege des munien ersen heen, de wee kledden fernjes setunje. Es tau geriarum gin liege de credu enjach roos nish, mille anachten me inchen saige je kushweger bi, van mi tiggle le soon de kaart. O, tauus morais du derfos, sfewe insig us, nish ta wareltach de higgle, ta was an oil and chid chesment gus tiglis. Now, the running trade was an issue as early as 1726, but the buyout of the Lord of Mann's rights of the British Crown didn't come till 1765. David Robertson was a British revenue man, so approved of the arrangement. However, in the island, this was known as an kiaull, the big swindle. And Robertson tells us, the sale of the island spread an universal terror through the country. The bustle of commerce ceased, and every countenance indicated fear and amazement. The merchants, imagining that the treasures of their warehouses would be immediately confiscated, disposed of them greatly beneath their original value and retired to other countries, while many of the possessors of landed property, now deeming it of little consideration, sold it to any purchaser. Consequently, some were ruined, several were injured, and a very few individuals of greater policy and penetration amassed by this universal alarm an immense fortune. And there's a footnote about that coming up, but it'll be a little while before we reach it. And there we heard the bonny lass of Fivey, then a change of pace to the mucking a Geordie spire, but both eminently suitable for dancing the gay gawns, and they were played by the Scottish Fiddle Orchestra conducted by John Mason.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Audio Stasiwn yn Asiwn Radio Fannin, y Claire na Gael tar y chlas yn Cartnish, mer yn pyn Robert gytyn Corsol, Robert y Corslach.
Did the other hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
Gwrs ym ydi Claire yn Radio Fannin Elliot, y Claire na Gael y chlas yn y siachten logigol sgeilia mach y chyrt, trwy'r yn chraman agert yn y deg Radio Fannin. As de Claire na Gael maast yn y chydendŵr yn de podcast yn fysrygad yn nasti, yn y deg Radio Fannin hyn, na trwyd yn reich the podcast jou. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, na Alexa. Now, while some merchants were ruined by an cheayll, there were others who saw a way to make a profit, and Robertson's footnote here explains. By a person who'd been an eminent merchant in Ramsey, I was assured that on the sale of the island he sold 50 pipes of brandy at 2 shillings per gallon, payable by bills at 3 months. And before the time of payment arrived, every gallon of the brandy had been resold at the advanced price of 10 shillings and sixpence. Well, it may not have been a straight profit of 8 shillings and sixpence a gallon, as it was probably sold on, paying the higher British customs dues on it, but no doubt somebody managed to buy at a bargain price from a scared merchant and profited on the deal, as Robertson explained to us before. Robertson, of course, had his own views as a British revenue man and continues. But though the sale of the island was, in its immediate consequences, thus partially injurious to the country, it's since been deemed universally beneficial, and the natives are now taught by experience to regard it as the greatest blessing. Taus mullianesh around the tuil shencho beg und scornach na perchin, gent eg a rid cheden as rin a tol ons an inna Lucy. Tam is shielden de wel. Chias e sus as doort e de throm chusach. Esh, taun jou chiaurt. O, de rauwe morsen. Ach a trai, chanel. Sfod a smedde. Fod a smedde. Ons enem ye alle van Helsing, kreet hou menel, dilly me. Chiawe je heen lesh cowre de wie chraie schies ons care, as hugge nolje nege woord, as koedige en nege lesh lau, gouds lore. But jint egen in the Lucy. As nishkus capital quake jag, Gilen and fairly Seward Claare. Rish tamelt ren vegach corrie mach as mach, Gael en meisterach orm. Wij maar de berge gouds wie bio, boele Lucy se nettenek. Woel me a boer de cry is jirry me gouds doort me rish, ver lieb aan Helsing, wel was de heel. Now the perils of drink. Drink leads to theft, crime and poverty. That's the basis of this Breton song, sung by André Paul Bach, accompanied by his wife on accordion.
Leven tutta na hørsen brau, vargen men din ja ves med så. Vid ma klevo pepini, har brione zepta mandini. Jusco de mea huarervat, emme un tohar gual grogat. Pas in tut för varum meno, hanno de kemmer square diuto. Così avven paurapin vidic, terribin dreiner zobbani. Agam di treppa guisieca, e noch ever medinen pla. Nos at meso a lavar, bares monnes ket va far. Ege zau de meza, arrebella zor vroman. Nos rivo di gemeret mat, keida mappado jalhat. Ne panevo mi gwenne gebet, dar syr mi a zerbe o taule. Fades o eva o divi, ne schiarebet paradeini. Laburat ma dezuaru, geot keida gehenne brazu. Jolen weet ik vreemd, waar was en dood tam da drivi. Dan maakt dat boat touw da eva, meer raket voet ik KERENSA. Heet roe da eva, en is je banco Petra. Eliaquina pe bagolen, vagagna lipo e gueren. Nesos en trakken di valo, di quelle dervauelt meso. Roche dan nosato guerzet, qualche lavaro boccolet. Sur tutta gasmado divin, veste pello campanesi, car guardaratti all'uturen, e braghe sul vagherofen.
And that's Breton singer André Paul Bach, accompanied on accordion by his wife, whose name I think might be ROBERTIS. And that was a song about drinking, or more specifically the evils of drink, recorded in 1933. Rogis Sion is Jicheorm. As on Zachteniach, ren meigid en edenege corcunus arm chilirach. De raushen morvamidjanu dorte, ve as kiel. Seisach shen gesolerish firnis gor shoh. O, my chare. Cren fair liatrem mi gol gefade me giete goes. Cren fair kiaull trech ol jouwer ons instut redeniach gon jou gramp. Rauwe no de wel mi cor doe ortes. Drau doe trut machten melijn. Rauwe no drau mi giri cor pien dut. Rauwe no drau mi giri nish choamach. Colina son en tre son renu sawel me biois as vai bes aglach. Oh, rau. Lai dawe dortmish. Hai machara. Ve no drau mi giri ve mielach. Corort tiggleshaw, no de wel fissem drau graed, ben shen chomillish. Ach eerfos, genal mi jerkel de ginu krel. Though the constitution of the country was in no instance affected by its revestment in the Crown of Britain, note that it's revestment, so claiming prior ownership, although the island had been an ancient kingdom in its own right before that, though the constitution of the country was in no instance affected, the government of the island certainly was. The revenue department was now separated from the civil establishment. A custom house in His Majesty's name was erected at Douglas, and subject offices in Peel, Castletown and Ramsey, the establishment consisting of a Receiver General, Collector, Comptroller and some inferior officers. And a footnote here tells us that the salary of the Comptroller is, exclusive of the fees, £100, that of the Collector considerably more. And then the text continues. On completing the sale of the island, Government, at the requisition of the Duke of Atholl, consented to retain every officer of his appointment except the Collector of the Customs. Now, on Saturday the 28th of July, the Centenary Centre will be the place to enjoy the wonderful Irish band DERVISH with vocalist Cathy Jordan. And here they are.
I am a true-born Irishman. I'll never deny what I am. I was born in sweet Tipperary, boys,
3,000 miles away. Hooray, me boys, hooray. No more do I wish for to roam, for the sun it will shine in the harvest time to welcome poor Paddy home. The girls, they were gay and frisky, they'd take you by the hand, saying, Jimmy McCree, will you come with me and welcome the stranger home? Hooray, me boys, hooray. No more do I wish for to roam, for the sun it will shine in the harvest time to welcome poor Paddy home.
Welcome Poor Paddy Home. That was the Irish band DERVISH with Cathy Jordan singing, and they'll be performing at the Centenary Centre in Peel on Saturday the 29th of July. Yes, I read it out wrong before. I can't read my own writing. Saturday the 29th of July it is. Now, Robertson doesn't give us the name of the original collector who was appointed, but goes on to say that this office was then conferred on Richard Beetham Esquire, LLD, who died in 1789 and was succeeded by the present collector. Again, the present collector is unnamed, but a footnote in relation to Richard Beetham says that Dr. Beetham was father-in-law to Captain Bligh, whose fortitude, amid unequal dangers, the public have so justly admired. And the fact that William Bligh was married to Elizabeth Beetham in St. Peter's Church in Onken is one of the many connections, the Manx connections with the Mutiny on the Bounty of April 1789, so only 2 years before Robertson's return visit to the island. But back to the text. Since the establishment of the customs, the importation of foreign luxuries has been limited, and the imposts on them, though much inferior to the English duties, increased. There is, however, still an abundant variety. Gedolia de haige chelirach je firnius skinnigen. De vodmuch du jail de wel lied possible trevas in riu krel de vein jou possible. Smooth dolia force de grel firnius riech o trimshach, as me jou lied de fair as an inner Lucy. Noch, Tommy Gold de Frauwele. Lios dut chit merem. Hug shoh in this nieuw hartnis achorm. Gemailes dyn je prauwel je de firnis. Vergeil Byron as a brastel, dollars. As prauwel a firnis desen hug vier smoo. Honnig drau mi leeste, as lore. Nieuw grampten ressoen, genee ressoen van ledig gegeerd show, as limme bij doskes dos ons korach voor gij. Maar een welle firniach, be relief ons prauwles. Senaach smedde KEGGIN Gael. Maar wisse firniach, en shentanal. Ach liesraal hien kommel soese chushem. Son onsen, ta pert de eem son credju. Tarod, je minstut novis foam. And that's from the newly released album by Cornish hammered dulcimer player KERENSA. You can buy the album Can Hweg through Bandcamp.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Siodiw stasiwn yn asiwn radio fanning. Si Claare na Gael and Claare show. Mer peen Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Have you heard tell of our Bobby Bob?
Hoiach ta sin gulrónish de chorshilje a fetche shen sa Tylius. Ten Fairly Vincent, J. Tylius North, onsent in a paper naach grade developeche, na Garedau as liams Duts, no der Ausschuss of Rasel ons Amsterdam. Neer ligge de he en ser gien goeshegge, man a valley arltach benten de Gare. Gin moet inch weg de. Ach, de Welshin giri insige. As esh. Grawie oge as a fogget des chummisusi. As esh, nimmut kiaull nee josses mish, surlik ongi ta Lucy na lai. Shoch en acher vis koren jaag voor glas. Hoer meer bij een dinje coffin de Gorgus Arthur. Van mijn griach kribbel tjou staimi. Son deni mi der ou dogger aglach roin. A gedod mi jyn weg. Maar so, gauw mi chwish kriach as dod mi, as doort mi de lizichchen jyn sair, no der ou a faster golsha. Now back to Robertson. Exports may be made at Peel, Castletown or Ramsey, but all imports of rum, tea, sugar, wine and tobacco are only admissible at the Custom House of Douglas. The imports of the island are numerous, and the duties various, but from every impost payable in England they are exempt. And another footnote here gives quite detailed information about the various duties. French wines are charged with £4 per ton, and Portugal wines with £2. Rum pays a shilling a gallon. Tobacco 3p per pound, black tea 6p and green tea 1 shilling. Soap, sugar and silk goods are charged with an impost of 5%, and other wares with 2.5 ad valorem. The wines come directly from France and Portugal. The red port is greatly superior to what is generally drunk in England, and including every duty and expense costs the importer little more than 7p a bottle. 30,000 gallons of rum are annually permitted from England and 10,000 from Scotland. Now at Lizard Church and Arts Centre on Friday the 28th of July, Ruth KEGGIN and Rachel Hare will be performing, and here they perform Annie Kissack's song Vuddee Veg. The voice of Ruth KEGGIN and the harp of Rachel Hare, and they'll be playing in Lizard Church and Arts Centre on Friday the 28th of July. Now, of this rum coming into the island, 30,000 gallons from England and 10,000 from Scotland, this footnote continues. The duty was originally only 18p a gallon, but an additional 6p was afterwards imposed. Tobacco and loaf sugar are generally imported from Liverpool. Previous to 1788, great quantities of each were annually imported, but this indulgence being abused, the former was confined to £40,000 and the latter to 20 tons, a limitation more than adequate to the annual consumption of the island. And once again we revert to the text now, and Robertson says that the oppression of excise is still unknown in this country. The duties are paid on the arrival of the goods, and they are then free from all future inspection. So he means to say by no excise that there are no further payments for trade within the island once they've come in. Foreign brandy and gin, being prohibited, may be seized by a custom house officer, but all other articles of commerce are secure from his annoyance unless they're detected in a clandestine exportation. Hwyr sin na péitse na rúis. Va sabi na Tredegar as ve an all pert de vi, as all you cúdeach ve cowrel de mai. Rau an fairly Vincent de kiaull of ein scornach ege, as jiche dun na túl. Gedod marnus ve jint de rauwed casal a roosen ver scornach Lucy. Vad na slew as van oir an jien na smooth gianach. Vashen olju. Vraishin J. Vincent machon a varlega na renad. As Tredegar der awi jin de ve jint eg bech enjach. ag roddan Vuddee. Ach, a hon heen. Fe currit des munnion de rawe fairjin a kratnigan as chwilien jou ons tallu en urge tuiach lunning. As chwilien te nieuw skeljedach doort hij, Vuddee de wel sampler kai jane vien jas, je kaint smoo muskedach. Vuddee de ren scholter en ja corlesh fairjou tai, as henke lies gepeel. Na eer as na gergen bergolach, Vuddee de ren fair egg kost na maag as. Na drou fair na jenten by soeder falle. Now, I'm sure a good number of people remember Tony Lewis, the Welsh artist who set up Celtic Gold in Peel. He'd been a member of the Free Wales Army under its founder Julian Caio Evans, generally known as Caio, and this is a song in memory of Caio by MONIARS. Moniar is a person from Ynys Môn, the Isle of Anglesey. Cofio am Caio.
Cofio'r cyfryngau yn chwerthin am ei beth, papur a newydd yn tywall ei sen. Doedd dim i'w wneud i unrhyw fath ag o, paid oedd hoi'r gwrgardd yn dod, roedd na dal y llosgi neu bol. Dros Gymru a'i hennill un ôl, roedd na dal y llosgi dan ei bron, dros ei wlad a'r hyrwyd hon. Cofio am Caio, peidiw na anghofio, cofio am Caio a'i sariad o. Ni fedrai gytuno am llwyr a'i ddillau, ond hyd heddiw dwi'n cael ei glywed ei le. Dwi'n gwybod bod eiriau yn berffaith iawn yn awr, rhaid saith dim gwrando os nad oes cyrff ar y llawr. Bydd y dan yn llosgi neu fod, dros Gymru a'i hennill un ôl, roedd na dan yn llosgi dan ei bron, dros ei wlad a'r hyrwyd hon. Cofio am Caio, peidiw na anghofio, cofio am Caio a'i sariad o.
MONIARS with singer-songwriter and guitarist Arfon Wyn and his song Cofio am Caio. Tyredd yn mas o tachart mortificio. Hynny eich jai lern de hen en mod all de cars na mach as, as fe na lorg am I creel hús yn shoh. Rishacht yn lorg shen, around the page en kleivegach, nien weg a chlog marky jerk east, as ons dach alley synerd der a henken aal show mechona ven vrou elen. From the annual amount of the imposts arises the insular revenue. Part of this supports the civil establishment, and the residue is annually remitted to the British Treasury, where, says Robertson, it either lies dormant or is applied to foreign purposes. although the principal harbour of this island is in ruins and the jail a disgrace to humanity. Shenanish, it's Alex Brindley this time, who's ready with 2 hours of great chill-out music for your Sunday evening from 7 to 9, and at 9 it's Sundown with Judith Leigh. We close as we began with music from the band who'll be opening in Cruniach with a concert in the Centenary Centre in Peel on Monday the 24th of July, the Glasgow-based Trip, but with members from Scotland, Ireland, England and, of course, in Isla Collister from here in the island. They take us towards the storm. You'll recognise one of the tunes here a bit later on. Isla Collister, of course, went through the Bunscoil Gilgach, and you can buy tickets online now at the Centenary Centre website for the 2 nights of the Bunscoil Gilgach's musical presentation of Ljóran Dúfa, taking place at the Centenary Centre at 7 o'clock on Thursday the 13th and Friday the 14th of July. Tickets are £5 for adults, £3 for youngsters. Ach, nish signed on Corcion a Claare show, and so until the next time then, this is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Owl Bobby Bob.
Wishing you a very good night. Eve, I'm a Crieri was Orchestra, as me year in shared you will you.